Today I'm going to walk you through everything that I would do personally if I were starting off again as an author in 2024. I've been working with authors for even longer on how to succeed in self-publishing, and so I hope that you will find a lot of this information useful for you today. Let's dive into my 6-step formula to actually succeed as a published or self-published author. All right, I've divided this whole thing into 6 different steps. Now, I want to make it clear that this is just one way of going about your publishing business. There is no single successful way to do it, but I do believe that this is going to give you the best chance of succeeding when you're just starting out. Publishing is a long game, but there are a few things that you can do to maximize your chances of succeeding. So let's start with step 1. Step 1 is to identify and create your reader magnet. So the reader magnet, what is the reader magnet? It is usually a short story or a novella, sometimes even a full novel that people will give away for free in exchange for an email address. So if someone comes to my website and I say, hey, sign up for my newsletter and you'll get this free book. That's an example of a reader magnet. They are important because we actually want to start building your email list right away. Notice we haven't even started writing your book yet. We're starting with the reader magnet. And that is because we want to build hype for your book before it even comes out. And you can't do that if you don't have people on your email list. Your email list is the most important asset that you can own as a writer because it's something that you own. It's not built on anybody else's platform, whether that's YouTube or TikTok or Facebook. It's something that you have access to, and you will be able to email those people as long as they don't opt out and unsubscribe from your email list. So step 1 is just to create that reader magnet because you can't start building your email list before you really have that. You can try, but a lot of people aren't going to sign up for the email list just because you say so, just because you ask. You need to have some kind of incentive to really get the ball rolling here. So create that email magnet first, and then move on to step 2, which is to optimize your email list. When I was just starting out as an author, one of the things I heard from literally everybody was that you had to have an email list in order to sell your book. And that the bigger your email list, the better you would be able to sell your book, because you'd send out an email, people would be like, okay, let's go buy this book, and they'd buy your book. And this was like this mythical thing. First of all, that's not always true. You can have a very dead email list. But the other thing that confused me is that people would suggest that in order to grow your email list, you had to have an advertisement at the back of your book, basically, where you could say, if you liked this book, go read my reader magnet over here. Of course, you wouldn't call it a reader magnet, but you get the idea. And I thought, well, if I'm supposed to grow my list by selling more copies of my book so people see this advertisement, and yet I'm supposed to sell the book through my email list, like, how do I even get started? It's a chicken and the egg kind of question, right? And so since then, I've identified a couple of platforms that will help you out with this. And this is why I start building the email list before I've even written a book. If you go to a platform like BookFunnel or Story Origin, these are websites that will help you coordinate either newsletter swaps or group promotions. While these aren't necessarily the most powerful form of marketing, they are one of the best things that you can do early on that cost $0 basically, other than the cost of using Story Origin and BookFunnel, which is relatively cheap. And from that, you can actually start building your email list. The way newsletter swaps work is you say, hey, I will share your book with my newsletter, and if you share my book with your newsletter, it's a scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. And most authors are okay with sharing your book with them, even if your newsletter is not very big yet, because as long as the cover and everything of your book looks good, of your reader magnet, make sure you have a good looking book cover for your reader magnet. As long as that is the case, then people will be able to say, okay, this looks like something my audience will enjoy, so I'll share it with that audience. And then as they do that, your audience will grow and you'll be able to continue to do that with more people. I have people in my membership right now who have been talking to me and say they followed my steps exactly, and they managed to get several hundred people onto their email list long before they released their first book. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, I have a link below to my membership. Basically, it's like a group coaching thing. You get much better access to me and to ask me questions. I go in and I give a lecture inside there every week, walking through these steps that I'm going with you right now in much more detail. Plus, there's a whole lot of other goodies in there. You get all my books for free. So go check that out, and I will hopefully see you in there. The other thing you can do to build the email list is something called a group promotion. It's very similar to a newsletter swap. The only difference is it's a bunch of authors coming together and creating a page with all of your different reader magnets on it and saying, okay, we'll all promote this to our email lists. And with all of those readers coming to this page, they'll be able to look through all of the offerings and pick the ones that they are interested in and get on the newsletters for those particular people. So that's another way to grow your email list, especially when you're just starting out. Now for step 3, we're going to do something that's a little different and not something that I hear talked about too often, but it is a very powerful way to get started with your book. And I would suggest 3 to 4 books in the early stages. Well, you can start out with 1 or 2. I would at least have 2, okay? I would not start releasing these until I had at least 2. And I'll tell you why. When I first got started, I actually wrote an 8-book series. And I kind of regret writing all 8 of those books because I feel like I would have gotten more out of it if I had written maybe 3 trilogies instead. So 9 books, but 3 trilogies. So I could get more practice working on book 1 in a series, because book 1 is going to be the most important book because it's what convinces people to move on to the next book. In self-publishing, though, having a long series is usually a good asset because it allows more people who have read your first book and like it to continue on, and you make more money from that overall by having that series. It's like having an upsell for a product. And if you have too many book 1s, so for instance, if I had written 8 books and they were all just book 1 in a series, that's actually, readers don't really care for that too much. And it's much more likely that they would read 8 books in a series than they would to just try all 8 of your different books that are all separate from each other. And then add a separate problem to that, the fact that authors who are just starting out do really well when they can show that they have a whole lot of titles. But if they see that you've written 20 books, that might be a little bit better. And so this solution that I've come up with, and actually I didn't come up with it, I've seen other authors do this, is to split your first couple of books into 3 or 4 novellas. So we take these 3 to 4 books, and let's say we divide them each into 4 different novellas each. That gives us 12 to 16 titles. And these would be novellas and not novels, but that still gives you a little bit of a jump start at the beginning to make it look and appear like you've written a lot. There's another reason that this can be really, really helpful for you. Brandon Sanderson famously wrote 13 books before he ever got published, and every single one of those books was a book 1. It was the start of a series. Because if you're traditionally publishing, it makes no sense to start writing book 2 unless you have already sold book 1 to a publisher. So the strategy of building out a long series for self-publishing doesn't work for traditional publishing. And if you're one of those people that want to try traditional publishing first and then maybe self-publishing if it doesn't work out for you, which it doesn't for most people, at least with the first couple of books, then this might be a good strategy for you. After you have shopped that book around to a lot of different publishers, if no one has taken a bite, then you can split that into 3 or 4 novellas and sell those on Amazon. So let's say you're just really, really invested in the traditional publishing route. What you could do is you can write a book, shop it around. If it doesn't get very much traction, which most first books of an author don't. If you're Brandon Sanderson and you've written 13 books and you never got a bite on any of those books, you could have self-published those and at least been making something while also building up your brand. And as you write each of those books, they're going to be getting better and better and better. And eventually a traditional publisher will probably pick you up. But in that time, you will have amassed quite a few titles that you've self-published that's likely to be making you some money. Plus, you'll be building up an audience, and traditional publishers like to see people that already have existing audiences these days. So that's going to be helpful to you as well. But the big reason that I want to split these up into 4 different novellas is for this next reason that we'll get to in step 4. Because in step 4, we're going to actually publish these. So we'll self-publish. And for each of these book series, we want to self-publish these rapidly. I would say no more than 1 month of time between each title. Remember, these are novellas, so readers are going to get through them rather quickly. So I would actually probably if I split a book into 4 novellas, I would probably release them 1 week apart from each other. So we're going to do what we call a rapid release in self-publishing. I would also make sure that these are in KU, at least for starters. There's a lot of controversy and debate about whether we should put your books in KU, which stands for Kindle Unlimited, which means you have to have these books exclusive to Amazon, at least for 90 days. And then from here, I would measure, read through, rate. Now, what do I mean by this? This is the secret sauce here. This is why I would be splitting something into 4 novellas in the first place, because I want to calculate read through rate. So let's say 100 people buy your first novella and then 50 of them buy the second. But then you write another book and split that into 4 books, and you look at that and 100 people buy that book and 70 people buy the second. Suddenly, you've given yourself a clue that more people like that second book because more people are reading the first book and then continuing on. And that's going to not only give you some valuable data about what people like and what they don't like, but it's also going to clue you in to say, hey, maybe this book would be a good one to continue as a series. You're not going to go through and write an 8-book series like I did, not knowing whether that series would actually be successful. You'd write that first book, split it into 4, and then if you see you've got a good read-through rate through those 4 novellas, you can say, okay, this is the series that people like the most. I'm going to run with this one and continue the series. And then that way you are much more likely to hit the ground running because you'll be able to measure that distance. Anybody can get someone to buy your book once. You could have an amazing cover, but if they don't move on to the second book, that's a sign that they didn't like the first book. That first book is what sells the second book more than the book cover or anything like that. And so read-through rate is one of those key metrics that you want to use. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, if I split my book into 4 novellas, won't that make readers a little bit angry that they're not getting the full thing inside of one package? And there is some danger to that. And so the way I would get around that is make sure that every novella is written, maybe you can adjust it slightly so that it has a little bit more of a satisfying ending to it, but still a promise of the next novella. And I actually have something I created called the plot module, which maps out exactly what you should write over 40 chapters. And if you actually go through that, I have the perfect endings at the 10 chapter mark for each of them. So 40 chapters, split it into groups of 10, and it actually works out perfectly as a novella as well if you do each of those in 10 chapters. If you've got 2,000 words per chapter, that means each novella will be about 20,000 words, which is the perfect novella number. So you can actually get that cheat sheet for my plot module down below. If you go to my website, storyhacker.ai, and sign up for my newsletter, you'll be able to get that for free, which is, by the way, a good example of a reader magnet. Or you can go more in depth with me on it inside of my actual membership, which I've already talked about. See the link for that below as well. Now, in order to measure this read-through rate, we need to make sure that you are having at least some sales that you can compare to each other. So let's say you've written 2 books, right? And you split each of those books into 4 different novellas. So you've got 8 titles, 8 novellas. You release all of them within a week of each other, so over a 2-month period. And then you want to make sure you start getting people to buy the first novella in each of those books so you can calculate that read-through. Well, it can be difficult early on to get people to actually start buying your book because you might not have any reviews of the book or anything like that. It's harder to get people to take a chance. And so what you want to do is focus on a little bit of easy marketing, the kind of thing that you can easily get a lot of people looking at your books. And so step 5 is to do that marketing. And the best kind of simple types of marketing when you're just starting out is, first of all, emails to your newsletter. That's why we started in step 1 and 2 with really optimizing that newsletter because your best sales are going to come from that. And that's especially true if you've been emailing regularly to those people, keeping that list warm and nurtured. The second thing I would do is look at book promotions. So there are services out there that will promote your book to a large email list in exchange for a little bit of money. It's usually not that expensive to do. The biggest and most famous is called BookBub. It's very hard to get a BookBub deal. I think you should at least try it every 90 days because you can do that for each title. You can try every 90 days to get it approved for a BookBub deal. But if you can't get BookBub, there are a bunch of others. And what I would do is I would take all of those, price your book 1 or your novella 1 at 99 cents, and then try to do 1 book promotion per week and just spread them out like that. And when you have spread out sales, that usually triggers Amazon's algorithm to work in your favor, especially if you, number 3, have a few Amazon ads going to your book. Now, I do not recommend putting a whole lot of advertising into your books at the start, but if you have all 4 of your titles for your novellas, then it could be worth putting a little bit of advertising into that to guarantee you at least a few sales early on. Now, this isn't going to be a big masterclass on Amazon ads. That's something I could probably do at a later date, but I would at least have a small amount of budget going to those Amazon ads, even if you're losing money at first, because the data is going to be more important than the money you make from this. So that's to sum up the marketing. I would focus on your email list, book promotions, and keeping those book promotions regular. And all while you're doing that, have a small trickle of a budget for Amazon ads to kind of boost that process. Something you might also find is that the effectiveness of your Amazon ads actually improves as you bring those book promotions in, because Amazon sees who is buying your book from those book promotions, and it is able to show your Amazon ads to more people who are likely to buy. So that's just something to keep in mind. Last but not least, we have step 6, and I would only do step 6 after I've written at least, I would say, 12 books. But at that point, I would move to selling direct. So selling direct is the art of selling your books directly from your website. There's a lot of advantages to that I'm not going to get into now, but trust me when I say it's what you want to eventually end up at. It's a very difficult thing to do, however, when you were just starting out. I would say you need at the minimum 3 books to do it, a whole series of 3 books. And I'd say 3 actual books, not just your novellas. But you're going to be much better off if you have at least 12 books in a series. That way you can do upsells and things that will increase the amount that you're able to spend to acquire a customer. So personally, I say wait till you get to about 12 books. You also want to be working that writing muscle to get at least 12 books. It's not as difficult as you think. You can get it done in probably a couple of years. Some people even write as much as a book a month, although those people tend to be more full-time authors, but it is certainly doable. So in order to sell direct, I would have to take my books out of KU because I could no longer have them exclusive to Amazon. And then I would take those books and I would sell them on my website, and I would do it in a way where people could come and they would see one book and they could buy that book. And then I would, on the next page, rather than saying, thank you for buying my book, here are a bunch of other books from other authors that you might like, which is what Amazon does. You could say, thank you for buying my book. Here's the rest of the series at a discount. Would you like to buy the whole series right now? Or you could put a bundle, like get my series and all of the audiobooks, or whatever you want to do. You could even have other things that are related but aren't books, like t-shirts, cups, etc. There's a whole strategy behind selling direct that you can explore, and it's a really cool thing, but it is a little bit more advanced. So I would wait until you have those 12 books saved up, which can be a motivator for you as well to say, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get those 12 books written, and we're going to do this. And I think if you can do that, by the time you get to 12 books and you're selling direct, you are going to be in a much better position to actually succeed as an author, especially if you've been publishing your novellas here that are, versions of your books split up into 4, and measuring that read-through rate, because that will give you huge amounts of data that you can use to know what are the things that people like and which series are the most popular, because I see more people reading through to the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th novella. If this was useful for you, I have a whole masterclass on how to upload to Amazon and every piece of the puzzle that you need when uploading to Amazon. So go ahead and check that masterclass out if you like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.